Hey everybody, Andy Brady here with the Easily Amused channel, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit older. I recorded a video the other day on the Switch 2 or whatever the next generation Switch might be, and I thought today let's talk a little bit about Amiibos and how do they play into the next gen? What are they? What do they do? Do we want them? Do we need them? Let's get right into it. Alright, so Amiibos, everyone knows what they are, right? They're these little toys from Nintendo. First and foremost, do you have one of these or some sort of device similar to this? If you do, give us a thumbs up. I'd like to see how many people watching this video actually use these devices or have these devices. Even if you don't use it, do you at least own one? So, what is an Amiibo? Right, Amiibo is literally just a statue, which Nintendo is known for selling merchandise. I mean, they are probably the king of selling merchandise, right? But they took it a step further, and they put an NFC chip into the bottom of them. Same NFC that's used by your cell phone for contact sharing, for connecting quickly to Bluetooth speakers, connecting quickly to whatever it might be. So near-field communication, wireless chip put into the bottom of them. And the idea is that they're going to do things for you. And I've broken it down into three categories of what Amiibos are for people. Not necessarily what are they, but what are they for the people who have them. First off, I'm going to say that they are statues, right? They are decorations. They look cool. You can use them as decoration. And really it gets down into two types of people who use them as statues. Those who collect them, they leave them in the box. They're ugly as hell. They leave them in the box forever. They get really no enjoyment out of having them. And they really only have them because they're hoping one day they are going to go up of some kind of value. Then you have people like me that rip them out of the box immediately so that I can put them on my shelf because I like the way they look, I like the decoration. I would have bought it even if it wasn't an Amiibo. I would have bought it even if it didn't have NFC technology. And then I do also now have the ability to use it because what Nintendo smartly did, I guess you can call it smartly did, is they put foil on the bottom side of the packaging. So if you don't open up your Amiibo, you actually can't scan your Amiibo. It's worthless to you as an Amiibo until you actually open it up. So there's the other type of use, another type of person who has one of these. And that is the kind of person who's going to use it, well, let's just say it, for cheating. Though, can you call it cheating if Nintendo intended you to use it that way? Can you call it cheating if the game was designed to use the Amiibo for what it's doing for you? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. Let me know in the comments. Do you think using an Amiibo in a game where it gives you an advantage is cheating? So let me give a couple examples of this, right? So for me, I feel like it's cheating most of the time, but I draw a certain line. For example, let's say that you start off a brand new Tears of the Kingdom and you immediately scan 30 of these things. Well, you're going to have more gear, more food, more armor, more technology, more stuff at the very beginning of the game than you should have had even after hours of grinding into the game. Or let's go back to Breath of the Wild and you're doing it in Master Mode, right? So much harder until you scan 30 of these things and suddenly you're starting off pretty well and it's almost like it's not actually in Master Mode anymore. That's when I feel like it's cheating. When I don't feel like it's cheating is you don't really need anything. You kind of got everything and you decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and scan 4 or 5 of these, get a couple extra things, try to find some of the things that maybe you can only get with an Amiibo. Try to get, a couple more fish. I don't really need them, but it'd be nice to have them and I don't feel like grinding for them right now. When you've gotten to the point in the game that this is not make or break, that's when I think it's less cheating and more just kind of fun to have. The problem is they're big, they're clunky. You got to have a bunch of them, and you got to sit there and you got to scan them and then set them aside and grab another one, scan it, and set it aside. So while they're fun, while they're useful, and while sometimes they might be used for cheating, that is another way that some people do use them. So again, let me know in the comments, do you think that it's cheating or not cheating when you use an Amiibo? And then finally, they've added the ability to write information to some of them. So I believe when, let's say Super Smash Bros., you can create your own character and you can save your character to it so that when you're traveling, you can also take this miniature statue with you and take your character from your version of Super Smash Bros. And put it on somebody else's version of Super Smash Bros. Personally, I think this is very, very useless in the grand scheme of things. And again, looking for y'all's comments down there. Is that something you guys actually use this for? Is that something you guys actually do with these, is save information and be able to move it from thing to thing? So what should you use, or what could you use instead? And keep in mind, I'm not condoning any of these things that I'm about to mention. Like I said, it is basic NFC technology. Okay, so maybe you could hop on eBay or Amazon and you could get a stack of playing cards about the thickness of a business card or a credit card, I guess. And this actually has the NFC information saved in it. And as you can see, the characters are not completely accurate. It's almost like they're trying not to get the cease and desist order from Nintendo, which obviously they're going to get, which is why they pop up on Amazon and disappear so fast that if you even get a chance to get these, you'd be very lucky. Not that this is a working version. I would never condone having a working version. But if you look at the size difference, you know, how many Amiibos I have here, if these were Amiibo cards, compared to one Amiibo, right? So if you were traveling with these, wouldn't this make a lot more sense to have something like this that you could travel with? And believe it or not, they get even smaller than that. Why do they need to be big? An NFC chip is actually pretty small, right? So lots of different versions of those cards can be done. What about if you have a rooted Android phone? If you have a rooted Android phone, you can read NFC chips and then you can emulate those NFC chips. So you could actually take one that you already have, because that'd be the only reason you'd ever do it. You would never, ever download this information. You would take one that you already have and you could read it right onto your phone, save that information, go into emulate mode, and then put that to your Switch or to your Joy-Con or to your Pro Controller, and you would trick it into sending out the same signal that this sends out, and it would get read by your Switch as if you had that device all along. So again, if you're traveling now, even easier than the cards would be using the phone that you already carry. That requires a rooted phone though, and more people are not rooting their phones. What about if you have a modded Switch? There is Amiibo, which I think means emulate Amiibos, where you can literally trick your Switch into thinking you tapped an Amiibo on it right then and there at that moment. All of these things are taken even further into the idea of cheating, in my opinion. Or a Flipper Zero. If you have a Flipper Zero, I do have one. I couldn't find it in time for the video. I'll locate it somewhere, probably underneath my seat in my truck. But a Flipper Zero, you can copy all these NFCs and you can emulate them. So you can take all 30 of them and you can save them in one thing, click go, scan it, it's done. Go to the next one, go, scan it, it's done. So knowing that you can do all of that with an Amiibo, and you can bypass all of this, and you can make it more convenient, you can make it something that's more usable, what should Nintendo do? I've got some ideas of what Nintendo should do, things that they could actually start doing now with the current version of the Switch, but I think that if they save it for the next version and they continue to do Amiibos, that they should make them better and give people a reason to buy newer versions of Amiibos, even if they're maxed out, even if they've got more than enough like I do. How do you take it to the next level where you're actually going to be interested in buying more of them? So I've got a couple different ways for that. All right. First and foremost, the most simple idea. Card storage in the bottom of an Amiibo. You can use it as a statue, but then when you go to travel, you slide it out and it fits into the same game cartridge, make it the exact same size as the game cartridge. You can take them with you. They would look the same instead of this, funky version. They would look the same as the actual Amiibo that you have. So technically they would both be collectible, but this is not usable without this in it. So you would slide this back in here, and now you've got a statue that can be used if that's how you want to use it, but you have the ability to pull this card out. Just go ahead and beat the other companies at their game. Make this available to the consumer so that we can take this with us. Because I'm not taking this onto a plane. I'm not getting this out, surrounded by people on a plane, and just going to start being like, here, will you hold that one for me? Hey, here, will you hold that one for me? Hey, here, let's do that one, right? I'm not going to do that. A lot of people are not going to do it, so maybe we make it so that works. If they don't want to do a physical version, which I think they would, why don't they integrate it into their phone software, right? So phones can read NFC and phones can emulate NFC. They don't even have to be rooted to emulate some forms of NFC if the app is designed to do it. Nintendo could absolutely create an Amiibo app that does nothing but allow you to take the Amiibos you already have, put them on the NFC on your phone, register them as yours. Now you've got your own collection, your digital collection. You can scroll through and see what you have, but give us the ability to emulate it right then and there on your app. You're missing an opportunity here to get people to use your cell phone apps. And then from those cell phone apps, branch out into other things. Again, this can be read by a cell phone if the cell phone knows to look for it. So why is the Mario Run app on the Android not able to have this scanned and have some kind of benefit there? So again, we're missing a big to-do that could happen. So with the next gen of the Switch and with current phone technology, let's find a way to mend the two together so that you don't have to carry the statue. Yet Nintendo can still sell the statue, can still have it available. I still want to get them. I'll want to get the next version of them. But let's find a way to make it better. Let's find a way to make it work even better. Next question. Are they ever going to be worth anything? Is this the Beanie Babies of our time? We've got millions of people that still have them in the box, which tells me that in 20 years, nobody's going to be buying this on eBay or whatever version of eBay there is that day and looking for a new in-box, because they're all going to be new in-box, because I know about 7 people that have this same Guardian one, and I'm the only one that has it out. I'm the only one that they've been able to touch it and feel it and see how it bends and how it moves. And they've all remarked about how cool it is. Yet they leave theirs in the box because they're hoping one day that it'll be worth more money. But if I know 7 people personally who have that, how many millions of these are sitting out there just waiting for that Beanie Baby day where suddenly it jumps up in value? And yes, I know some of these things, they stopped making them. They're already going for more money on Amazon. They're already going for more money on eBay. But I personally believe it's probably already at its peak. It's probably already at its climax, because what's going to happen is I think eventually one day there's going to be this offloading of all of these things, just like what happened with Beanie Babies. Suddenly people really realized that there were 17 million Cabbage Patch Kids out there still in boxes just waiting to be sold, and the price and the value plummeted. Same thing happened with Beanie Babies. Same thing happened with so many other things from the past. So the original Nintendos and the original Nintendo games, nobody expected them to be worth a lot. Before the original Nintendo console came out, consoles had kind of come and then kind of crashed hard. And so when the first Nintendos were really hitting, the first NESs were really getting out there, people were not looking at this thing and thinking one day this is going to be worth a lot of money, because they've already seen a video game crash. So why would they have expected it to stay longer? So people were ripping them open, they were using them, they were being used by children, parents who didn't care about those game cartridges. They never once believed that that thing would ever go up in value, so they let their kids tear it all to shreds, right? Now we're finding later that some of those things are worth money, but why? They're worth money because people didn't leave them in boxes. They actually played with them, they actually used them. So the few that are left in box, the few that are left in mint condition, those are the ones that are worth more money, in my opinion. Now, 20 years from now, value starts going way up. I'm deleting this video because I don't want a single one of you pointing to this video and saying that I'm the reason that you opened up all of your Amiibos and finally had some fun with them and finally got them to look good on your shelf, and you just lost out on $150,000 in value because, well, it was my fault. So don't worry, I'll delete this video before that happens. So my question to you guys, what do y'all think? What do y'all think of Amiibos? Did you buy them? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Did you not buy them and you cheated and got chips? So you're still using Amiibos? Still, give me a thumbs up. I want to see how many people actually partook in the idea of Amiibos. But then I want to know more. Do you guys think it's cheating? Not cheating? Have you ever used it for a save file? Or are you like me and you think that's a little bit ridiculous? Just because it's not convenient. This thing is huge. Are you hoping that they integrate this into their next-gen console in some way? And if so, how would you like to see it in the next-gen console? So, again, this is Andy Brady with the Easily Amused channel, just having a chat about Amiibos. Would love to know what you guys think. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. And hopefully we've got some new information, new ideas out there. Please give us a like and a subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel so we can keep putting out some good content. Hopefully it's good content. See you all in the next video. Have a good one.